Welcome back to the Crypto World channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now the Bitcoin price is coming into contact with this important range of resistance, and we're also forming a brand new pattern on the Bitcoin chart. This is going to give us a price target to pay attention to, so make sure you're watching all the way to the end of this video so that you're not missing out on any of this important information. And just before we jump into it, you might as well hit the like button down below, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on for more updates just like this every single day. But with all of that out of the way, let's get straight into what this video is about. Right here, we're on the Bitcoin US dollar chart on the 4-hour time frame, and straight away what we can see since yesterday is the fact that Bitcoin has seen a small rejection from this point of resistance, but it hasn't exactly been a major rejection. Obviously, Bitcoin is still hanging around these sort of levels. And by the way, for the new viewers on the channel, this range of resistance is really coming between 63,000 and around 65,000. And so basically, if we see a continued rejection from that range of resistance, I mentioned yesterday that I'd expect perhaps another dip down towards 60,000, or at least those lower $60,000 levels, because we've got huge support at that horizontal level just there at 60K. And we've also got the 100 exponential moving average on the 4-hour chart coming in at almost exactly 60,000 right now. So even in some bearish scenario where we do see a bit more of a rejection here, then I would expect major support towards 60,000. But if the Bitcoin price can regain its strength here and have another push to the upside, then that is potentially leading into a brand new pattern, which is an inverse head and shoulders pattern. As you can see, we've already seen the left shoulder, we've already seen the head, and right now we're potentially forming a right shoulder, but it has not confirmed just yet. And this pattern is even clearer on the 2-hour chart. So basically what we need to see before we can confirm this pattern is have the price of Bitcoin come back up to this neckline, which is coming in at around 63.7K approximately. And if that can happen, that would complete the inverse head and shoulders pattern on the 2-hour chart. But of course, we'll need to see a break above the neckline in order to confirm the price target for this pattern. And by the way, the technical price target for this pattern is coming in at around 67.8K. So from the point of the breakout, that would be a gain of around 6% to the upside. And obviously, if that plays out, that would put us into a brand new all-time high, because the current Bitcoin all-time high is sitting at just above 67,000. But keep in mind that pattern does not come into play until we can confirm some sort of right shoulder here and a break above the neckline. If we do not complete the right shoulder, or especially if we do not see a break above the neckline, then that price target simply does not come into play, at least right away. So if you're talking about the immediate short term, Bitcoin is in a little bit of a deciding moment right now. And zooming back to the 4-hour chart, what we can see in the volume is a huge decline in the volume, dating all the way back since around the 21st of October. And that basically means that we are due for a pretty volatile move sometime soon. So just get ready for that. It's likely to happen this week, some sort of explosive move on the chart. And the direction of that volatile move will obviously be determined if we can finally break above some significant resistance or break below some significant support. Basically, the moment we break one of those important levels with a decent surge in volume, that is how you know that we are potentially starting that major move that I'm talking about. And just taking a quick look in the VP VR indicator, what we can see is the huge cluster of volume that Bitcoin is currently trading within. This is ranging from around 60,000 US dollars up towards around 63,500. So while the price of Bitcoin is ranging between those two levels, we're actually looking quite neutral. And then if Bitcoin can see a strong break below 60,000, the volume traded within those levels just to the downside of 60,000 actually drops off quite a lot, meaning that we could get pretty volatile below 60,000. But it's the exact opposite. If we can start breaking above around 63,500 US dollars, this volume cluster really starts dropping off, and we don't have a whole lot of traded volume to the upside, meaning that if we can break above this immediate point of resistance, things could start getting very volatile very quickly to the upside. So it all just depends on whether or not Bitcoin is holding the support or holding the resistance, because as I said, the moment the price breaks one of those levels, that's when we're due for potentially the next decent move on the chart. Now, below 60,000, we actually have a little bit of support coming in at around 57,500 US dollars. And just zooming out a little bit further, that was also a major level of resistance for the Bitcoin price previously. And so the fact that that's coming into confluence with a major cluster of volume to the downside, I would expect that $57,000 and $58,000 level as significant support for Bitcoin. But keep in mind that does not come into play while we're above 60,000, obviously. But if we can get above this range of resistance, then an immediate price target to the upside that I will be paying attention to is simply the all-time high, first of all, which is coming in at around 67,000. Because if you watched yesterday's Bitcoin update video, there's actually a lot of sell orders coming in at pretty much exactly 67K, which will be acting as the final point of resistance before we can smash into a new all-time high. And then obviously we have that initial price target out of this inverse head and shoulders pattern. And we also have much larger price targets at play. For example, this huge cup and handle pattern that has currently already broken out to the upside. And this is still giving us a price target towards around 79,000 US dollars per Bitcoin. And speaking about a deciding moment for Bitcoin in the short term, as I just mentioned, we could be forming that inverse head and shoulders pattern, but keep in mind, if we do see a continued rejection here down towards 60,000, then we could also be forming a regular head and shoulders pattern, as you can see. So keep that in mind as well. Right now, we really are at a deciding moment, at least just in the shorter term. But of course, when you're zooming out on the chart, looking at the big picture, I am still very bullish on the current trend that Bitcoin is in. And just taking a quick look at the Bitcoin dominance, this is actually really important for not just Bitcoin holders, but all of the altcoin holders out there as well. Because as you can see here, pretty much over the past 1 week, the Bitcoin dominance has been declining. And so during that time period, the altcoins in general have been outperforming Bitcoin. But this is amazing to see, especially right now, because if the Bitcoin dominance continues to drop to the downside, then that is really good for the overall crypto market. Because around a week ago, just before the current pullback in the Bitcoin dominance, we were forming this huge W pattern on the daily time frame for the Bitcoin dominance. And technically speaking, we can still form this pattern if we see a bounce pretty soon. But obviously, a W pattern is technically a bullish pattern, giving us a bullish price target to the upside if we break above this level just here. And if the Bitcoin dominance is looking bullish, then obviously that is not good for the altcoins. And usually when the Bitcoin dominance is looking really bullish, especially after seeing a W pattern like what we're seeing right now, that is often not too good for the entire crypto market. Because for example, the last time that the Bitcoin dominance formed this W pattern was at the beginning of 2018. And if you remember what happened back then, that was the beginning of the crypto bear market. But obviously back then, the W pattern that was forming saw a major breakout to the upside, which was a very strong signal showing that we were in a bear market back in 2018. Because during bear markets, the altcoins on average dump harder than Bitcoin, but during bull markets, on average, the altcoins pump harder than Bitcoin. And so what we're seeing right now, especially the price action over the past 1 week in the Bitcoin dominance, this is really good to see, especially if we see any further downside price action, because that would mean that this W pattern is potentially failing. And that could also lead us into a potential altcoin season if we start breaking some major levels of support just here. So this is something that I'll be keeping my eye on, and I will update you if anything new happens. But to get notified about those new updates on the channel, make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on so that you're not missing out on any of these future videos. And be sure to drop a like down below if you enjoyed or got something valuable out of this video. As always, I really do appreciate all of your support. We're so close to 80,000 subscribers, and I can't thank you guys enough. Seriously, I appreciate every single one of you. And for the new viewers on the channel, make sure you're checking out one of these uploads if you haven't already. I've got a trading tutorial video showing you how to trade Bitcoin and a passive income video showing you exactly how I earn passive income in crypto every single day. But anyway, that is really everything I have to say for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next video.